Welcome to Soul Tales Daily, where simple stories echo deep emotions, joy, sorrow, greed, and glimpses of humanity. Stay a while, maybe you'll find yourself in one of them. Right finger hit subscribe and make every day a story to remember. Dizzy. Bright lights of New York, a beautiful pianist takes the breath away. But behind her proud smile are hidden wounds. A cold husband, a cruel mother-in-law, a treacherous friend, and a secret that could destroy it all. This is the story of Isabella, a teardrop in America. But that tear is the seed of a new dawn. The night of the performance at the New York Opera House. The auditorium was bright, hundreds of eyes were watching. Isabella sat in front of the Steinway piano, her face bright as jade, her soft black hair loose, her hands relaxed on the piano keys. The music was intense, like a storm, then calmed down like a whisper. When the song ended, the entire auditorium burst into applause. Isabella bowed, a smile on her lips. But in that moment, a tear fell onto the piano keys. In the front row, Richard, her husband, looked coldly. He did not clap, he just slightly curled his lips. Music does not bring in money. You are just a decoration in my house. Isabella lived in a luxurious villa, but it was like a gilded cage. Margaret, mother-in-law, was harsh. Each word was like a knife. You are the wife of the Richards. You need to keep up appearances. Don't make a fool of your music. Margaret's eyes trembled slightly. Isabella realized she used to be a dancer, but her dream was buried by this family. Then Clara, her best friend, appeared. She used to admire Isabella, used to clap her hands endlessly for her friend's music. But now her eyes sparkled with jealousy. Isabella, you have everything. I just want to step out of your shadow for once. And Richard is the way I choose. Those words were like a knife piercing deep. Isabella was stunned. Late one night, Isabella opened Richard's briefcase. Money laundering records, black debts, shady transactions appeared. She trembled as she held the file. Richard walked in, his eyes like a predator's. He pressed close to her ear and whispered, "A cracked mirror can reflect the truth, but it can also cut the one who holds it. Be careful, Isabella." She was afraid, but there was a fierce light in her eyes. At a small charity concert at church, Isabella played for poor children. When the music stopped, a man approached, Michael, a doctor, his eyes kind. "Your music can heal. It makes children laugh, and it touches my wounds too." Michael said, when he was young, his sister died of a serious illness, but before she left, her only wish was to listen to music every night. "Isabella, you not only deserve to be loved, you can give love." His words echoed in Isabella's heart. That night, Isabella sat before the cracked mirror in her room. In each crack, her face was broken. She whispered, "No one can imprison my heart anymore. I will be free." On the day of the trial, the whole of America watched. Richard walked in arrogantly. Clara held his arm like a celebrity. Margaret sat silently behind. Lawyer Richard blamed Isabella. "She is mentally unstable, paranoid, and wants to destroy this family." A murmur arose. Isabella stood up, her voice like a powerful harp. "I choose the truth. If the truth makes everything fall apart, then that is the price of freedom." The room fell silent. Suddenly, Margaret stood up, tears streaming down her face. "Richard, my son. You have buried my dream, and now you want to bury Isabella. I cannot help you anymore. Today, I stand by her." The courtroom exploded. Richard turned pale. Clara was stunned. For a brief moment, Richard screamed, "Do you think I'm not suffering? I'm afraid of losing everything: money, power, reputation. I only know how to control myself so as not to lose. But in the end, I lost the person who loved me the most." A flash of weakness, then he collapsed when the evidence of his crime was exposed. A year later, California. A small house by the sea, the sound of a piano. But this time, it was not a fancy auditorium, but a small classroom where poor children were engrossed in the piano keys. Isabella smiled. Michael stood at the door, his eyes quiet and warm. A small concert took place. Little hands played the piano keys clumsily, but the music rang out clear and lively. Poor parents burst into tears, the whole auditorium burst into applause. Isabella turned to the cracked mirror in the window. Now, in its cracks, there was no shadow, but the reflection of the sunset, a child's face, and her own free smile. Peace is true beauty. If you have a cracked mirror in your heart, don't be afraid. Those cracks are not for hiding, but for letting light in. Loss is not the end. It is the beginning. When we dare to walk through the darkness, we will find freedom, and can give light to others. Folded hands. If this story has touched your heart, please subscribe to the channel, so that together, we can not only listen to stories, but also walk through the darkness, find our own light.